Welcome into another Running with the Timberwolves podcast on the Believe Sports Network. My name is Gabe Anderson, and I'm joined, as always, by Chris Emerson. Chris, how you doing?
Doing well. Timberwolves schedule's out, so we'll see what that's about.
It is, and they announced a bunch of stuff like Christmas games. They announced a bunch of Peacock games, and so we thought that the original or the full schedule was coming. And then I saw a tweet from our favorite analyst, Charlie Walton, who said that it was coming at 2:15. It was released, kind of a fun video by the Wolves. And speaking of fun videos, check out on YouTube or Spotify to check out our draft of the past 15 years of Timberwolves players. We did a fantasy draft. I'll link it in the description to that. So go check that out. It was a fun draft. I don't have the final results yet because I feel like a lot of the people that I asked just said I won because like they're my friends. so
Okay.
so a lot of them I was like, be honest, like who won? And a lot of them did say me. I'm sure a lot of your friends told you, but I'm gonna put up a poll and try to get an overall tally of who we think won. But that was a fun video to do for sure. So let's jump right into the Wolves schedule. Was released today, and honestly, let's just do it like we did last year. Let's go month by month, and I'll get your reactions of the schedule. First off, so the Wolves have 28 nationally televised games, fifth in the league. The Lakers, Thunder, Warriors, and Knicks all have 34, which that makes sense. You got the Lakers, LeBron, and Luka. Thunder just won the championship. Warriors are the Warriors, and the Knicks are in New York. But then really of the small market teams, other than the Thunder, who just won the championship, the most nationally televised games, along with the Rockets and the Nuggets at 26, Celtics at 25, Cavaliers at 24, Mavericks at 23. Now, and I want to go through this and then I'll get your reaction to the Wolves having so many national games. It's kind of confusing because when it says nationally televised games, it includes games on like Peacock, which, to be honest, I've seen baseball games on Peacock at like 11 o'clock on a Sunday. I don't know if that counts as a nationally televised game. So this is what it kind of looks like. So Sunday, if the Wolves have a nationally televised game on Sunday, it'll either be on ABC, NBC, or Peacock. If it's on Monday, it'll be on Peacock. If it's on Tuesday, it'll be on NBC or Peacock. Wednesday is ESPN. Thursday is Prime. Friday is Prime or ESPN. And Saturday is Prime or ABC. Got it? Repeat it back to me. To watch all of these games, you theoretically have to have ESPN, Prime, NBC, Peacock, in a mix of all of them.
I know, and that's what I was gonna say. I don't like as like a boomer, like damn near when it comes to some of this stuff. Like I like just having it all on my one Timberwolves thing, and when nothing's nationally televised, I knew that I could watch it every night, and I didn't have to mess with this crap.
Right, and here's the other question. Like you were mentioning, it's like, why buy the local sports packages when what you mentioned, 1/3 of the games aren't on it?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. So I mean, it's great. Honestly, for me, just me personally, I have through other people, like my sister has Prime, my dad has YouTube TV, so I'll be good. But I think there's a lot of people who might have to go to the bars to watch some of these games, to be honest with you. So that's what we got going. But let me get your thoughts on the Wolves having 28 nationally televised games.
The first thing when I heard that, I thought two things. I thought, man, they're pushing Anthony Edwards as maybe the next star or something, and that might be great for us because I really do think the NBA, they have a say in kind of how that works. And that helps in outcomes and everything. But the second thing I thought is, well, I guess we probably have a lot of those nationally televised games because a lot of the other teams that are up top there are like in our division or, so there's probably a lot of overlap. So maybe there's a lot of, us versus Denver or us versus Houston or us versus OKC, which normally falls on the schedule anyway. So they just throw it on a quote unquote nationally televised.
So let's dive right into the schedule as a whole right here. and I'll just kind of run through each month. I'll give you some of the stats, and then I'll let you react to it. So the Wolves open up October, the first night against the Portland Trailblazers, which I found out from Alan Horton, the awesome Wolves radio guy, that this is the first time the Wolves have opened up against Portland in their history. So 30-year history. Division opponent, they've never opened up against Portland. Now, the Wolves are 5-5 in their last 10 seasons on openers, not home openers. They're actually much better with that, but we'll get there in a second. And they've lost their last 2. Then the first nationally televised game on Prime at the Lakers. Then the home opener, which the Wolves have actually won 9 straight home openers, which is pretty crazy. They play the Pacers. Then their first back-to-back, a Peacock game, 10-27 against the Denver Nuggets. That'll be a good game. And then 10-29 on ESPN. So we start the season, 3 out of the first 5 games are nationally televised games. They play the Lakers again. So as much as we saw the Lakers in the playoffs, we're seeing them twice here in the first 5 games. Now, some stats from October: 3 home, 2 away, 3 nationally televised games, 4 playoff teams. We had the Lakers twice, 1 back-to-back, and last season in October, we are 1-1. Your reaction to the first month, 5 games of the season?
Well, I would say if I had to take on the Lakers, I would like to take them on probably early. I mean, I get it, they're healthy at that time, but they're probably still figuring it out. Like LeBron's kind of a guy who'll get rolling late. There's some non-ideal stuff there, but you're gonna have to play tough teams in the West. So
right, and I think it is a big statement by the NBA that they want to feature us early when we're just getting into the season. Football season is in full swing. And the first teams they want to show, if you're just getting into the NBA this season, because you got to remember, there are, with these moves to streaming services like Peacock and Prime, they're trying to appeal to a younger generation, trying to get into basketball. And let's say it's a kid, like I remember my first NBA season that I cared about. It was 2002, 2003 season, I believe. And I mean, the first people I saw was KG and Kobe. So, I mean, that's a good entry point into the league. So they're trying to get people interested, and they are kicking it off with the Wolves off the bat. Granted that you have the streaming services that you need. All right, let's get into November. So November kind of starts the swing of the real NBA season. Of course, we got the in-season tournament in there as well, so we'll get into that in a second. The good news is, after kind of a tough start, starts out at Charlotte, then at Brooklyn on Peacock, at the Knicks on ESPN, then our first in-season tournament game home against the Utah Jazz, and then at Sacramento, at Utah, our second back-to-back right there. Sacramento, a different game against Sacramento at home for the in-season tournament. Then we play Denver again on a back-to-back. Then on the road, or at home against Dallas, Washington, at Phoenix. That's an in-season tournament game. At Sacramento. So we play Sacramento 3 times in November, which it seems to happen a lot. Then a big game, in-season tournament. Who knows? It'll mean stuff for the season, but who knows if it'll mean anything for the in-season tournament. Given the easy start to our in-season tournament, it could mean a lot. At OKC on ESPN. That is the day before Thanksgiving. Then we are home against Boston, and then a back-to-back with San Antonio on the 30th at home. So November stats: 15 games, 7 home, 8 away, 3 nationally televised games, 4 games in the play-in tournament, 4 playoff teams, 3 back-to-backs. Last season we went 7-8 in the month of November. Your thoughts on November?
I mean, it sounds good. I mean, that's 2 months in a row where we've had more away games than home. So that means that we're going to be coming home with, a favorable schedule in that realm, I would assume. Set them up and put them down. At this point of the season, we should be rolling. Like that's when I want to see how our offense is. Hopefully, we got something new going on with Randall and DiVincenzo, like with a full off season on Finch. It's the couple games, 3 games versus Sacramento. I guess it's hard to tell how these teams are going to even be. There's been a lot of movement.
I mean, the big games, the game before Thanksgiving at OKC, that'll be a huge game. What's that?
That's the highlight of that month.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And something that I'll review actually right now. It's funny. The Wolves play the Spurs this season. They play them 3 times. All 3 times they're on the second halves of back-to-backs.
I wonder if that's good or bad.
I don't know. Now, I did not check if the Spurs are also on back-to-backs.
Right.
But
do you think the Spurs are going to be good this year?
I think they'll be decent. I think they're on the way up. It's hard to know in a tough Western Conference.
For sure. That's the thing. Like, at first I was like, oh, well, they were pretty bad. So maybe that's a good thing to have on a back-to-back is kind of a team that's not that good. But then I'm like, well, maybe they will be good. They got De'Aaron Fox. They got tons of, young talent with
Castle, Wemby, Vassell. Yeah.
Who knows what they're going to be.
Any way you slice it, the West is going to be a gauntlet.
It's so tough. Yeah, like when you're talking about these teams that we're playing, and like every night it could be a loss, So we have to. That's what like we've always talked about. Rudy brings to this team is just that consistency going through the month, going through the weeks of just showing up and playing hard every day.
Right.
That's what you got to do to stack the wins in this Western Conference. You can't have like lazy Tuesday afternoon games.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's go to December. On the 2nd, at New Orleans. And then, once again, on the 4th, we play at New Orleans. Who knows what they're going to be? I mean, it's a question mark every single year. Then a big game at home against the Clippers. Then at home against Phoenix. And then, depending on the in-season tournament, we'll either have 2 random games or we'll be in the in-season tournament like semis. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. But anyway, coming out of that, it gets a little interesting. Memphis at home. Tough game, fun game. Those are always fun games. Ever since the playoff series, always fun playing Ja. Now, obviously, they don't have Desmond Bane anymore, but still will be a fun game. At home against OKC on Prime. That's a big one. Then we got Milwaukee. Who knows what they're going to be? Who knows if Giannis will be there?
Is that home?
The Knicks. Yes, these are all home. Yes.
We're just talking with my Wisconsin friends. We might go to that game.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be a fun one there. So yeah, Christmas time. Good time to see friends and family. So that'll be fun. And then right before Christmas, I know the Wolves play on Christmas, which I'm burying the lead. Knicks at home. So the 23rd, they play the New York Knicks at home. Then, of course, everyone knows at Denver, ABC, ESPN. Then, after Christmas, Brooklyn at Chicago. And then on New Year's Eve at 2 o'clock, they play the Atlanta Hawks on the road, which they could be a fun team this year. So, December, 14 games, 5 away, 7 home, no back-to-backs, 6 playoff teams, 2 nationally televised games. Last season, we went 8-5. Your thoughts on December?
December sounds like the month that I'm most excited to watch. I mean, that sounds like a lot of fun games. Yeah, I'm all for that. And I like that we're starting to get more home now. So that'll be the turnover. And that's when you really got to start the push is after the new year.
Yeah, and that's kind of where they made the push in January last year. For sure. I mean, and then, of course, you got to mention playing on Christmas, which is a huge honor for the Wolves. Although I actually think it's perfect because for a lot of Vikings fans out there, the Vikings actually play at 3:30, and then you can go have leftovers, Christmas dinner, and then the Wolves don't play till like 9:30. So that is perfect for a Minnesota sports fan. Also, if you get into the games like I do, and you tend to get too into the games and you wouldn't necessarily want to be around your family while you're watching an important game that could have seating implications.
Yeah.
Perfect time. You're home by 9. Turn on the game.
Yep.
You know what? No one gets hurt. No one gets hurt. All right, let's move forward here to the January. So we start at Miami, then at Washington. So that's a back-to-back. But I mean, you got to take care of business there, right? Like, I mean, come on.
Better.
I mean, they have Chris Middleton now, but what a weird mismatch of a team the Washington Wizards are.
If you can get Washington on a back-to-back, it's a win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like schedule win.
Right. Miami, again, that's on NBC. Not Peacock. That's on Peacock too, but on actual NBC.
Miami, Washington, Miami?
Yes.
Okay.
Cavs at home, then Cavs on the road, once again on NBC. And then, again, like I was mentioning, the day after, for some reason, we play the Spurs, again, on a back-to-back. Then at Milwaukee on NBC. So there's a lot of nationally televised games in the stretch. At Houston, huge game there on ESPN. Then, guess what? At the Spurs on a back-to-back. Then, at Utah, home against Chicago. And then, at home against Golden State, that's like I believe it's a Saturday or Sunday, like matinee game. That's on ABC. And then the next game against Golden State, which is also at home, is also on Peacock. So 2 against Golden State at home, at Dallas, and then OKC on Prime on a back-to-back, then at Memphis. So some stats, 9 away, 7 home, 10 playoff teams, 4 back-to-backs, 7 nationally televised games. Last season, we went 10-6. I think this is a tough month, and I'll put it on the screen here. Could be a tough month for the squad.
So I wonder if the NBA got positive feedback from the teams and fans about these, like, kind of playing the same team back to back or in real close succession. Because we had a lot of those in that. I mean, there's multiple 2 or 3 teams where we played 2 times in 2 games or 2 times in 3. I don't hate it because it's kind of like a little mini series, and you get you know what they're doing a little better. I kind of do like it that way. But it is interesting. It's an interesting thing the NBA has just kind of started doing the last couple of years.
Yeah, and interesting games for like 2 against the Cavs. We would assume they'd be a good team once again. And then even not back-to-back, but Miami, Washington, Miami there too. At Houston is going to be a monumental game because the story around that will be like the team that Durant didn't want to go to. Anthony Edwards has history with Kevin Durant. He's his childhood hero. I mean, it writes itself. 2 against the Golden State Warriors. That's huge. At home. I mean, those games are going to be super expensive, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
You're coming to see Curry. OKC at home. That'll be huge. And then at Memphis, like I said, Memphis, always a fun opponent. Always a fun opponent is Memphis.
For sure.
All right, so let's go into February. So, like you were mentioning, we play Memphis on the 31st. Then on the 2nd, guess what? At Memphis. So they're really liking this 2 teams in a row thing. At Toronto, which I want to mention this right now. The Wolves have not won in Toronto. And I got the stat right here. The Wolves have not won in Toronto in their last 21 games.
Right. We beat Toronto as a away team, but not in Toronto.
Yes, in Toronto, we are 0-21 in our last 21, which is crazy. Now, obviously,
not that good historically.
They had a good 2010s. They had a good 2010s. They were solid. But, recently, it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you remember last year, we had the moment where Julius Randle is chucking the ball at Rudy Gobert, and we think like, oh, man, this season's over. Yeah. Little did we know. All right, so at Toronto, New Orleans, Clippers at home, ESPN. Then a back-to-back against Atlanta. Portland at home. Dallas at home. Philadelphia at home. At Portland, that's on NBC. And then at the Clippers on Prime. So February, 10 games. Of course, there's the All-Star break in between there as well. So we got to remember that. 5 nationally televised, but 1 back-to-back. And last season, we had a tough February, went 5-8. I think we had a tough schedule last year in February. If I remember right, we had like 2 against OKC, and then we went to the All-Star break, and then we had another one against OKC. So I think we went 1-2 in that. So that might have contributed to that. But your thoughts on February?
You said 6-game home streak. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like it. I think it's going to be interesting to see, because right around there, that's trade deadline time. That's if you're going to re-sign your guys' time, that's when a lot of the player movement happens. That's when picking up a veteran off minimum that another team let go happens. So this is when you're finally setting your final roster for your last push. Everything should be clicking. This is a big time of the year. Schedule looks fine. Let's take care of business.
And here's the thing. The Wolves, honestly, the last 2 years have been pretty stagnant at the trade deadline. They seem to do a lot of their work in the off season. Like they made the Randall trade, they made the Gobert trade. Really haven't done a huge trade at the trade deadline that I can remember since Conley, really. I mean, they really haven't done too. I mean, was Troy Brown Jr. at the trade deadline? I don't know. But so anyway,
I think it's smart to not make trade deadline moves.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
It just puts your team in like such a rush to try to fit the pieces and make things work. And I don't think you have enough time to really get it moving by the end of the season when it's playoff time.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's move along here to March. Start off March with a bang at Denver, and that'll be on ABC. Then Memphis, Toronto at home. We can beat them at home. And then what I think could be the defining stretch of the season, and I'm tipping my hand a little bit to my notes at the end here, could be the defining stretch of the season. Orlando, an improved Orlando team, if their guys can stay healthy, and adding Desmond Bane, that could be a tough go. But that's on Prime. Now, at the Lakers on NBC. Then, next night, at the Clippers, that's on a back-to-back. Then, at Golden State on Prime, and then at Oklahoma City. Wow. That is a gauntlet right there. That is tough. Yeah. Now, granted, even though the Clippers are on a back-to-back, I mean, you're not switching cities. You used to not have to switch, but you're not. At least you're not switching cities. And then, but here's the good news: the what is it? The light at the end of the tunnel. Then you got at home against Phoenix, Utah on a back-to-back at home, Portland at home, then at Boston. That's on NBC. Houston.
People got to remember, Boston's terrible.
I don't know if they'll be terrible. Josh Minot may put up 20 for him. Then at home against Detroit, and then at Dallas. So in March, 15 games, 8 home, 7 away, 7 nationally televised games, 2 back-to-back, 10 playoff teams. And this is where we made our push last season. We went 11-3 in March. Your thoughts on March?
Well, that one stretch you're talking about, 5 games in 8 days, and they're all, teams that we're fighting for in the top 5 of the West, probably. That's going to be, those are the type of games or streaks, series, little runs that are important this time of a year, because your team can be like, well, let's see if we really are who we think we are. Like, if we come out of that and we're like 4-1 or something like that, we're going to be looked at as a team that's the one to beat, or like, somebody to be reckoned with. If we come out of that 1-4, people are going to be looking the other way.
Right, absolutely. And then also notice some games here, almost a mini rivalry, a little bad blood with Detroit on the 28th, coming to Minnesota. We know what happened last time against Detroit. I always love that matchup. So I'm in like a mini season ticket draft kind of thing. And I think Detroit was taken with the last round of the draft. And I was like, guys, I unfortunately can't make it to this game, but I would have taken that much higher if I could have made it to that game. I mean, I want to see Detroit. Like Detroit's a fun team. Cade Cunningham, just nice little pieces around him. Don't know if they'll have Malik Beasley this year. Probably not.
They'll be a top 3 seed, very possibly.
I mean, it's a kind of a jump. I don't have them as a top 3 seed right now, but I could see it. I mean, it's wide open in the Eastern Conference for sure. When you don't know like what Philly's going to be, you don't know what the Bucks are going to be, you don't know what Indiana's going to be. Like there's a lot of unknowns in the Eastern Conference. Let's move forward here to our last month, which I want to make a point here at the end, but I'll go through it first. Start out at Detroit, like I just mentioned, that mini bad blood rivalry. Then at Philly on a back-to-back. Charlotte, got to take care of business there. Then at Indiana on NBC. Then a back-to-back at Orlando. Then at Houston. Then at home, we end the season against New Orleans, which I feel like that might happen a lot. Like, remember the 42-40 season we ended against New Orleans and we were playing for like the 8th seed? Where Kyle Anderson punched Rudy Gobert and Jade McDaniels punched a wall and yada, yada, yada. But okay, so 4 playoff teams, 5 away, 2 home, 2 back-to-back, 1 nationally televised game. Last season, the only loss in April, I think, was that Bucks loss, which, I mean, we don't need to talk about that. But here's my point. Last season, we basically had a layup in our last couple games, and I even tweeted it. The Wolves played Brooklyn at home, who was decimated by that point. A shell of the team, even on paper. No Cam Thomas, no Cam Johnson, basically a shell of themselves. And then we had Utah at home to clinch a playoff spot. This year, I mean, if you need it, you got New Orleans at home, which is obviously winnable depending on where they are. But a tough stretch, even though Indiana is not without Halliburton, we expect him not to be back at all next year. But even with Halliburton not being there, Indiana, as we saw last year, still plays us tough, and that's on the road. Orlando could be playing for a playoff spot. Houston could be playing for playoff series seeding, and then who knows with New Orleans. So what I'm saying is not an easy road to the end here.
Yeah, on paper, definitely not. I mean, if let's say Houston's in a spot where the seeding doesn't matter, Durant's not going to play. They're not going to maybe play some of their dogs. Maybe the same thing with Orlando. That'd be the hope. Because then you could look at this and say, Philly, Embiid's going to be crippled by then. He's not there. That's an easy win. Charlotte's trash. Indiana, they're going to be playing for the 1st or 2nd pick. Let's hope that they're shutting it off. Let's hope Orlando and let's hope that it could be easy, but on paper, if everyone's healthy, like you said, Indiana fights hard. Orlando's a tough team. Houston, that's a gauntlet. And anytime you got Zion, if he's playing, he always gives us trouble. So, it's one of those things where we'll see what happens by the end of the year, but on paper, it looks pretty tough.
All right. So some of my takeaways from the season as a whole, it's not really, I mean, there's some tough stretches, but with an NBA schedule, it's not like a college football schedule where you're going, oh man, we got to play Ohio State this year. Dang it. Because really, I mean, you play everyone.
You know
right?
what you're getting.
Right. Yeah. So my takeaways, like I mentioned, Wolves play San Antonio on back-to-backs all 3 times. I feel like we played them on a back-to-back last year as well. So I don't know what's up with us playing San Antonio on back-to-backs. Maybe it's because it's so close to Houston that it makes sense to get one in while you're in Houston. But anyway, you get, or at least the road one like that. Yeah. Like I mentioned, first time in franchise history, the Wolves open a season in Portland. And then, like I mentioned, the tough stretches coming out of the play-in or the in-season tournament, Memphis, OKC, Milwaukee, Knicks, Denver. Then that gauntlet all on the road, Orlando, Lakers, Clippers, Golden State, OKC. And then, like I mentioned, to end the season, Indiana, Orlando, Houston, New Orleans, not as easy as last season. Last season, we were 8-6 on back-to-backs. Like I was mentioning, we have 13 back-to-backs this year, so 1 less. And then, of course, the big game that I am always watching. I can't believe it doesn't get more attention. But the Wolves have not won in Toronto in their last 21 games, and they have a chance to obliterate that on February 4th is going to be the biggest game in the season. So let me break down just the nationally televised games here. Like I said, there are 28, 7 on ESPN, 7 on Prime, 6 on NBC, 4 on ABC, 4 on Peacock, and I believe that's it, unless I missed something. So my overall takeaways is too many streaming services, and I know that's been a problem for years with other content, not necessarily the NBA, but just like, oh, I want to watch Severance. Well, I got to have Apple TV, but man, I want to watch Love is Blind, but oh, I got to have this streaming service. So it's not a problem just with the NBA, but it's definitely now becoming a problem with the NBA.
Get your hacker streams warmed up. I think that's the only way to make this work. It's going to be confusing. Yeah, I'm going to really have to put a lot more effort into it this year to figure out what's going on, and I'm probably going to miss a lot of first quarters.
The All-Star break is the 13th through the 18th. It's going to be in Los Angeles. Who knows what the All-Star game is going to look like? I hope they try something different because it's boring. And I'm an NBA sicko, and I actually like the All-Star game, but it's 100% skippable at this point.
Yeah.
And I'll mention one thing. If the Wolves do lose a in-season tournament game, like let's say to OKC or something, it's not the end of the world because remember, you get those 2 games in between or while they're doing the in-season tournament. And a lot of times those games can be against teams that aren't that good.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world if the Wolves lose an in-season tournament game. Obviously, you'd love to win it, but I will say this, no winner of the in-season tournament has won the NBA Finals yet, which is the tournament I want to win.
Exactly. So
your final thoughts on the schedule as a whole?
Wolves in 5, raise the banner. Yeah, I think I'm just truthfully, I just want to see the team flowing. I think that everything looks fine. I think it's interesting that there's all these little mini series. I think that's a cool thing that the NBA has put in there. And, it's going to come down to health, and it's going to come down to a couple guys on our team stepping up this year. Some surprise. We're going to have a surprise guy or something. Somebody that gives us more than we expected by a noticeable amount for us to make a run. But that's the fun of the season.
Oh, by the way, I saw this, and I'll share this as we leave. So NBA Rivals Week has some fun matchups. I think it's the Wolves Warriors or something in NBA Rivals Week. But for some reason, one of the national televised games that they're featuring for Rivals Week is Charlotte and Cleveland. When you say rivals, the blood feud between the Charlotte Hornets and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I'm trying to even put together how that could be. And that's it.
Well,
this is like a LeBron Jordan when Jordan owned him and LeBron was playing there or something.
No, it's the connection is the Ball brothers.
Oh.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, they can't all be first round picks, Yeah. I wonder what kind of ratings that'll do. 2 mid-market teams. I mean, the Cavs are good, but who knows what the Charlotte Hornets are going to be at this point. But who knows? Anyway, that's our schedule. Go ahead.
They'll be young. They'll be young. That's what the Charlotte Hornets will be.
Absolutely. Chris, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, man. It was great.
And this is the Running with the Timberwolves podcast on the Believe Sports Network. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, and give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and or Apple. Check out our YouTube channel. Check out our draft of the last 15 years of Timberwolves basketball, and let us know in the comments of that video who you think won the draft. And as always, go Wolves.